Factoring general trinomials. In our previous video, we have learned how to factor perfect square trinomials. This time, we will factor general trinomials or trinomials na dili mabilong sa perfect square. So, for example, in our last video, we had this number, y squared plus 10y plus 16. In this example, we've learned na dili siya pwede i-factor using the perfect square trinomial kay dili siya perfect square trinomial. How did we know that? So, the middle term of the perfect square trinomial is supposed to be the square root of the first term, the square root of the last term, times 2. So, square root of the first term is y, square root of the last term is 4. If we multiply that by 2, so y times 4, you get 4y. Yeah, multiply that one by 2, you will get 8y. Pero, ang number dire, dili siya 8y. Instead, we have 10y. So, dili ni siya perfect square trinomial. Tungod kay dili man ni perfect square trinomial, unsaon din ni nato pag-factor. Okay. We've learned before na when we say factor, meaning you will have 2 or more numbers na inig-multiply ni mo ana, makakuha ka sa given number. For example, factors of 8. So, gunaw na tagduha ka number na factors ni 8. So, you will have 4 times 2 or pwede sad 1 times 8. So, magunahon na sa duha ka buok sets of polynomials or a binomial na i-multiply nato kani ang mugawas. How will we do that? To factor trinomials, this is the general rule. Okay. First step, prepare two parentheses. This will serve as the first factor and then this will serve as the second factor. Now, all we have to do is factor the first term and factor out the last term. Okay, let's factor the first term, y squared. So, what two numbers or letters can we multiply to get y squared? Of course, the answer is obvious, which is y times y. Y times y, you will get y squared. Now, let's go to 16. What are the factors of 16? So, the factors of 16, if we list it down, we have 4 times 4. We also have 8 times 2 and 1 times 16. 4 times 4, 8 times 2, and 1 times 16. If we analyze which among the three, kung atong i-add or minus, ang makakuha tag 10. Kay 10 man atong middle term, asa kahaanin nilang tulo ang makakuha tag 10. So, the answer is very obvious. We have 8 times 2. So, therefore, ang factors ni 16 na dapat natong gamiton, dili kaning 4 times 4, dili sad kaning 1 times 16, pero kaning 8 times 2 para makakuha ta sa middle term. So, let's put 8 here and 2 here. To determine the signs of the two factors, let's analyze the sign of the given trinomial. So, the last sign na naa niya diri, this has two signs. The last sign is positive. Positive gali, it means pareha ang sign sa duha. Kung negative gali ni diri, meaning lahi-lahi ang sign sa duha. Okay, kabaw na ta na since positive man siya, dapat pareha ni silag sign. So, unsa man na sign ang atong gamiton? Dira na nato tan-awon ang first symbol or sign. Since niingon man siya diri na pareha daw sign ang duha, kani siya na sign maura ni atong kopyahon. Since positive man ni diri, positive din ni silang duha. How will we know kung sakto ba ni ang ato ang gibuhat na factors? Okay, to check the factors, okay, all we have to do, multiply the inner terms and the outer terms. If you recall in your FOIL method na discussion. So, 8 times y, you get 8y. Y times 2, you get 2y. Let's add, you will get 10y. Since we got 10y, meaning 10y ato nakuha diri, And 10y gyud ang middle term niya, meaning this factor is correct. So we got the correct answer. The factor for y squared plus 10y plus 16 is quantity y plus 8 times quantity y plus 2. Let's have another example. This time, atong example is x squared plus x minus 20. Let us factor this example. Again, dili ni siya perfect square trinomial. So, we have to use the general factoring technique. So, first step, prepare two parentheses. Okay, para sa duha ka factor. This is the first factor. Ang nasa sudiri mo is second factor. Okay. Now, let's factor the first term. Factors of the first term, we have x and x. Kay maura man ang atong i-multiply na duha ka letter, multiply na to ani nilang duha, makakuha tag x squared. Okay, let's look at the last term. What are the different factors of 20? So, to get 20, pwede ka mo multiply 1 times 20. You can also have 4 times 5. And you can also have 2 times 10. Okay. Looking at all of the factors we've listed, let's analyze. Asa kahaani nila ang pwede ta makakuhag 1? Okay? So, asa ani nila kung atong i-add or atong i-minus makakuha ta og 1. Ang 1 og 20, kung atong i-add, 21. Kung atong i-minus, pwede siya mahimong 19. Ang 4 og 5, kung atong i-add, mahimong 9. Kung atong i-minus, pwede ta kakuhag 1. So, pwede ni siya. Ang 2 og 10, kung atong i-add, makakuha tag 12. Pero kung atong i-minus, makakuha tag 8. Now, ang gipangita nato is 1. So, ang pwede ra nato ma-answer dire is 4 times 5. So, the factors of 20 that we can use are 4 and 5. Now, it's time to determine unsa ang mga signs niya. So, let's look at the last sign. Negative man ang last niya na sign dire. Diba, duha ka sign? Ang last sign atong gitan-aw, negative siya. So, meaning, negative gali siya, dili pareha ang sign. So, duha raman kabuok ang sign, plus raman og minus. So, dapat ang usa ani nila plus, ang usa minus. Pero unsaon na to pagkaybaw, kinsa ang plus ug kinsa ang minus. Okay. Since dili sila pareha, let's look at the sign of the middle term. Sign sa middle term is plus. Ang kaning sign sa middle term, ihatag nato sa mas dako nga number. So, between 4 and 5, mas dako si 5. So, therefore, 5 has a sign of positive while 4 has a sign of negative. Kay dili baya pareha dapat ang sign. Tungod kay negative ang sign dire. Okay, let's check. The same thing. Negative 4 times x, you will get negative 4x. X times 5, you will get 5x. Let's add. Negative 4x plus 5x. That will give you positive x. So, we got the middle term, which is positive x. So, therefore, kani atong factor dire, correct ni siya. Kung lahi pa atong na-answer dire, wala ta nakakuha sa middle term, wrong ni atong factor. Pero since correct man atong nakuha, the same man sa middle term atong nakuha, therefore, ang pag-factor nato is correct. Let's have another example. This time, we have q squared minus 5q minus 24. So, ato ni siyang i-try og factor. Again, what do we do? Prepare the parentheses. First factor ang naa diri, second factor atong isu diri. Okay, what are the factors of q squared? Obviously, it is q times q. Okay, for the last term, what are the factors of 24? So, the factors of 24, we have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Okay, now, the middle term is 5q. So, let's analyze. Asa diri atong pwede magamit na makakuha ta og 5? Asa diri ang atong pwede magamit na makakuha tag 5? Kung si 1 og 24 ito gamiton, if we add it, makakuha tag 25. If we subtract, kakuha tag 23. If 2 and 12 ang atong gamiton, if we add it, we will get 14. If atong isubtract, kuha sa tag 10. Si 3 ug si 8, kung atong i-add, makakuha ta og 11, pero kung atong i-subtract, makakuha tag 5. So, kani siya pwede. Okay, si 4 ug si 6, kung atong i-add, makakuha tag 10, kung atong i-subtract, makakuha tag 2. So, since atong gipangita man is 5, therefore, 3 and 8 are the factors na dapat natong gamiton. So, ibutang nato si 3 dire. Butang na to si 8 sa pikas. Okay, let's analyze the signs. Again, the sign is negative. So, since negative siya, meaning dili pariha ang signs. So, ang isa positive, ang usa kay dapat negative. So, atong i-determine karon kinsa nila ang positive, kinsa sad nila ang negative. Let's look at the middle term. Ang sign sa middle term is negative. Negative 5q. So, si negative, atong ihatag sa mas dako nga number. So, between 3 and 8, ang dako nga number kay si 8. So, si 8 atong hatagan sa negative. Si 3, kay dili man sila pwede pareha, positive. Let's check kung sakto ba itong gibuhat. 3 times q, you get 3q. Q times negative 8, you will get negative 8q. Let's add. Positive 3q plus negative 8q, you will get negative 5q. And we got the same answer as the one found in the middle term. Therefore, sakto di ay ni ang atong answer. Kaysa base atong checking, parihatag nakuha na answer. So, sakto ni siya na factoring technique. Last example for general factoring technique or factoring general trinomials. Our example is x squared minus 12x plus 35. So, ato ning i-factor. Again, prepare tag duha ka buok parenthesis. Now, let's factor the first term, which is x squared. Factors of x squared, we get x and x. Factors of 35, you can have 1 times 35 or 5 times 7. Now, between the two, asa man kaha na makakuha tag 12? Obviously, dili ta pwede mo gamit ni 1 og 35, but we can use 5 and 7. So, the factors that we will use will be 5 and 7. Let's determine the sign. Since ang last na sign or the sign of the last term is positive, meaning pariha dapat ang ilang sign. So, since pariha dapat ilang sign, unsa man ang sign sa duha? Tanaw na sad nato ang middle term. Ang sign ni middle term is negative. So, we will use negative sign for both of them. Let's check our answer. Negative 5 times x, you will get negative 5x. X times negative 7, you will get negative 7x. Let's add. If you will add that one, you will get negative 12x. Therefore, our answer is correct, and this is the correct factors of this trinomial. So, if you have any questions, you can contact me.